Alright, shall we begin? Welcome. Now for starters, I ain't the best builder. I want to build contest, so that boosts my ego up a little bit, a little tiny wincy bit, but I ain't the best builder around. There's far more talented people out there than me. Build teams, individuals, stuff like that. So if you want to learn how to build, sorry, I'm a little nasally, very artistically and specific blocks and using specific items and specific resource packs, click somewhere else. Today, just today, maybe tomorrow, maybe down the road, depends how this video goes. I'm gonna see how it flows to the show. I'm gonna stop rapping. Let's not carry on with that. But if you want to learn tips, tricks, ideas, influences, whatever you want to freaking call it, that you can apply to anything. If you have a certain resource pack, if you have a certain mod pack blocks that aren't in vanilla Minecraft, I hope to inspire, influence ideas in that kind of sense. So, now, ooh, that little weird. Now, you're probably not gonna take any. If you made it this far in the video, kudos, thanks for staying. If you clicked away, you don't know what I'm saying to you. You're a freak! Why'd you click away? You should have stayed. You might have learned something. I'm sorry, that was mean. But you're not gonna believe me if I just wisp up some words and claim that I can sort of build if I don't show you anything. So I'm gonna take you a little tour around all the things I've built. Now, I've been playing Minecraft for about 2 years now, and it's actually started on Xbox 360. Bought it on the PC. A friend bought it for me, actually. And now I'm just loving it on the PC. It is a game I always go back to and a game I always will probably never stop playing. It is just something I like to do, play survival, creative, all that jazz. But enough about that. I didn't get into building till about a year ago. And I started building on a server, and a person joined and told me that these builds are actually really good and they're very, not professional, but they're decent. And I was like, what? Really? You like my builds? Really? So from there, I've been trying to kind of get a little more attention, I guess. So I've been building things for building maps and trying to sell them. Why not, right? Not like incredibly priced. It's amateur, very, very amateur builds. So I mean, maybe I was just trying to make a little money on the side with something I like to do. I'm not going to use them. I'm not going to start a server myself. But today, just recently, I got picked up by a build team. Now, I can't say too much about that, but I got picked up. So I'm going to be building for something, and maybe I'll show you guys down the road what I am working on. It's a little hush-hush right now, but not too much to show. So I'm going to show you all my art pieces, and if you stay till the end, maybe I'll give you a little tips. And not stay till the end. This video is supposed to be tips and tricks. I just want to give you a little bit of my backstory, because if you are jumping into this, I don't want you to just... people do like a little number in the bottom left corner. Tip number 1: don't use netherrack or stuff like that. No, I'm not that kind of I'm not that kind of person. I'm gonna be showing you form and function, depth and detail. I'm gonna give you all the things I use when I'm building, and hopefully I can inspire, influence, do whatever. I don't want anybody, you guys, to copy any of the builds. That's not my goal here. You can try, but I mean, look at this. Isn't this beautiful? So let's get started. Excuse me, that was very unprofessional. Alright, now most people start off with a nice flat plateau of green grass or sandstone or some other junk. I'm actually going to show you some of the builds and some of the ideas or criteria I kind of do when I am building. Sorry, I thought I heard a weird noise here. Let's get that. Oh, let's clear my inventory. You don't need to see that command block. I ain't cheating, I swear. It's creative, so it doesn't really matter. But let's go around. This is one of my Hunger Games maps I built for a server. It is unfinished as well. It needs some tidying up with some snow and stuff like that. But nonetheless, got a little frozen waterfall coming out of there. A little mansion over here. A little gate to keep all the baddies out. Now I'm gonna give you a little tip right now. If you are building in survival or in creative, creating a lore or story behind it is crazy how much influence it can have. So when you come to build towns or cities, fortresses and stuff like that, you got to think what a fortress needs. It's gonna need walls, protection, set up like turret type things, or stables for horses, food sections. It helps. You don't even realize how much it helps you build until you actually start building. So, oh, let's ignore that. That's part of a contest. Oh, let's get that out of there. But that is the one of my helpful hints. If you are building whatever you are building, sort of create a story, a lore, or something you know that happens in this city. So this city right here, it doesn't. It's supposed to be living up on the top of the mountain. So I created this story. Let me just break it down for you. Let me get a beautiful look at my face. I don't actually look like this in real life. Hope you don't think I'm like 100 years old or 80 years old or 70, 60, 40. I'm young. I'm not going to tell my age. I'm going to let you guess. So, for this place in general, I came up with the story that a bunch of people used to live down on the mountain, at the bottom of this mountain, but they found that snow always came down and those are my sound effects for crushing snow. Snow was crushing and over, I guess, flowing? Flowing is not really, that sounds like water. It basically was covering all the buildings and destroying them, and they had to rebuild a lot. So a couple people decided to actually come to the top of the mountain, and the top of the mountain was kind of like this bowl, and they decided to start a civilization. There is a path up to the mountain that they could take that kind of led into the bowl, and this is where they blocked it off. So if people did want to attack, they had a main defense, which was this thing. So now when they're up here, they don't really have to worry about any of the mountain kind of crumbling down on them. So far, you never know. I thought that was a creeper there for a second. But the story just helped me build this place. Like, I realized that they're going to need food up here, so I create a little stable. There's a little fishing area back there, like kind of like pond fishing. There's a lake that kind of runs through it that's frozen because it's cold up here. There's a main castle market section back here. If people want to sell goods to each other, they can. There's even a little underground section because depth is a huge thing. You know, I've seen so many talented builders on different worlds and stuff, and they don't use variation. And variation is kind of important when you come to building. You want different levels and just more things to look at, more focal points, I guess you could say. So like when you're coming through this bridge, see how it sinks down and goes back up? It's a lot more interesting than a bridge that's just going to go straight across. So things like that do add more than you think to the atmosphere and detail. This place is unfinished. It looks very bland. Ignore that. But maybe we should jump into a flat world now. Like just right here, I did kind of two different wall types just to kind of mix it up. Because if you're trying to create something real as possible, like for this example, when you go outside and it's snowing, it's not just all the same level snow. People have walked through it. Cars have driven through it. So imagine like this is a kind of an offset path that people tend to use when they come out of their houses. So it's going to be a little more damaged because people have been using it to travel, you know, with horses or stuff like that, kind of using a shortcut to get from path to path. So just little details that you don't really think of initially, and you kind of start creating a story. It does really help out with adding certain details. That's my first tip of the day. Huh? Did you like that? Did you stay this long? I'm surprised you stayed this long. Shall we jump into a flat world and talk a little bit more form and function? Let's do it. See, this is how most people start. And it's so boring. Who wants to do that? I showed you some of my pieces, and it adds a little more interest. Keeps you hooked, right? Well, actually, depends if you stayed or not. Oh yeah, it's my first time opening up my inventory. See, I just made this world for you guys. Let's start with your palette. Now, when you are building, you usually have a theme. You got steampunk. I'll throw up some pictures of not things that I have built, but hopefully if my editing goes well, I'm so amateur editing, I'll show you examples of steampunk, Victorian, they call it kind of like Aztec, which is like ruins and stuff like that. You got modern. There's just so many Roman. There's so many themes you can do when you are building. It kind of helps when you are building. Oddly enough, how many times did I say building in this? Whoever wants to count it, you'll get a prize of one. I can't do that. I can't promise $1. I don't have that much in my bank account right now. Anyways, let's get into picking your colors. Now, personally, my favorite color right here. This is my favorite log. I ain't being biased, like I was saying. These things are going to apply to if you were using a resource pack or a mod pack, or you add blocks in the game or models or something like that that aren't in there. You can definitely use these tips and tricks, hopefully. So let's throw some stone brick, alright? Stone brick always looks good. You gotta look for those contrasting blocks. Now let me give you a little palette right here. So these guys look good together, right? When I tend to build, especially when I'm doing a medieval-esque build, I tend to do pillars. And the pillars are always a nice contrasting block with your secondary block. And then on top of that, you're going to want a accent block. Now, most people I've seen, they tend to tell you not to build too flat like this. Now, you can obviously build flat like this if you really want to, if you find it easier. But adding things on the outside can add a whole nother ball game to this. So let's just go up, boom, 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 boom. And then let's make this a 2-window high, because I mean we are too high people in this world. We're too tall. And then we go something like that. Now you still get a little sneaky deaky of the logs there, but it kind of adds a little bit more. No? And then you kind of find that this part looks a little barren, right? So when you're doing this, is the little walls. I guess I should say that we're talking about walls here, a little. Again, I ain't no professional builder. I'm just trying to get you inside of Mr. Flim's mind and how I build. Stairs. Let me say this too. I'm gonna be all over the place with this. So hopefully these videos actually do help out. Who knows? We're gonna see how this video goes. If it don't go so well, maybe we'll never see this series again, sadly. But if it does go so well, speaking the English no good, then maybe I'll keep it around and keep doing this. But see this? Blocks with slabs and stairs are blocks that you are going to want to use as your secondary blocks. Blocks that are the main, I guess your primary blocks, I should say. These are your primary blocks. You want your primary blocks, which are going to be the blocks that you use most in your build, to have a variation of slabs and stairs. It helps out so much when you want to add detail. So let's say this right now, you're coming through here. Say there's a little path being, bath right here. You're coming through, you look at that, it's clean, it's cut, it's nice, prim and proper. This tells you that the town is upkept, that if buildings tend to be a little bit more on the poorer side, they either demolish them and rebuild them or try to fix them right there on themselves. But now let's change this up a bit. Now variations you might have in different mod packs or different resource packs, we can throw in like cracked stone, or a stair. That kind of adds that broken down look. And even to go even further, even to stretch it, you gotta stretch, you gotta have imagination here. But now that this place is broken, you get rid of this, you get rid of that up there. It's a little more mistreated, not as well upkept. So pieces are falling off. Excuse me, nothing but professionalism here. So you throw a little stone around. So now it seems, you know what? I don't appreciate that you don't rotate. So now it seems like this place has been beaten, been through a war, been through, a plague or something. People don't live here anymore, stuff like that. And like I was saying earlier on the video, creating a lore and story is the biggest and most helpful thing you could do for yourself. Because the first thing you want to do, if you create a story or lore, you want to put it in a time zone. Victorian, pre-war, industrial revolution, like anything along those lines. It helps you add to your map. If you do a medieval theme, you know that a medieval town is going to need a source of food. You can build a windmill or a mill with a whole farm surrounding it. If you build modern, the house is probably going to need a garage. The town's probably need a hospital. You can add ambulances. You can add cars. You can add fire hydrants. Just stretch that imagination with all the blocks you have. And Minecraft's only going to keep on adding blocks, so you're going to have a bigger and badder palette to work with. But I noticed in lots of other tutorials that I've watched, as I have been watching many people for 2 years now build and such, maybe like a year and a bit, and a lot of them build on camera and say, like, you should do this when you're building a wall, and you should do this, and you should do this. My goal behind this is to influence, not tell, influence you into building something. And if this does work out, maybe you'll see another episode. So, I mean, really, I'm trying this completely new, completely What's another word for new? Does anyone know? Huh. There's not really another word for new, is there? Huh. Never thought about that. See, I left you. I'll blow your mind, right? I'll blow your mind, hopefully. Anyways, please do let me know if this was helpful at all. It was just a short little 20-minute video, so I imagine it couldn't do too much. But if you found that it was, load in, world. People want to see. If you do find this helpful, you gotta let me know. Because I really need to know if these videos need to continue or should just stop right here when I'm just wasting time. Maybe I'll do one more video just to give it a little college try, right? But hopefully I helped you beautiful people out, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Bye.